that one as well. Okay, so everything is good. How are you? You well? All going well? I hope it's going well. It's fine if it's not. Every day isn't always going to be brilliant, but I hope you're having a good day. We're going to do a bit of meditation now. This isn't a class, it's just a chance to meditate together. These daily meditations I do are part of the further emergence work that I do. I'll explain what further emergence is when we're finished the meditation. But for now, if you're an experienced meditator, if you're used to meditating, brilliant. Can you hang on for a minute while I explain what I do, just for the benefit of people who are new to meditation? There's lots of different styles of meditation. This is what I do. For me, it starts with why I would meditate. I'm trying to connect to a part of me that I connect to every night when I'm asleep. Not the dreaming bit, the bit after dreaming. So I'm dreaming and then I drop out the bottom of dreaming into deep dreamless sleep, where I have no thoughts, no memories, no feelings, no personality. I don't really have a body, don't have a house, don't have a country. I don't even have me, because I sort of cease to exist. Certainly in the way that I normally register that I exist. And when I say it all together like that, that sounds awful, doesn't it? That sounds like death. And yet, I love going to sleep. And when I wake up in the morning, I feel refreshed. So, some part of me knows that that's a good place that I go to. And that's where I want to go to when I meditate. I just want to do it consciously. So, straight away, if you're new to meditation, don't try and do this lying down. Because if you do, you'll fall asleep. If you don't fall asleep, you'll battle sleep. Both of which are kind of counter to what we're trying to do. So yeah, sit up in a chair, or you can sit in a lotus position. If you're comfortable sitting in a lotus position, that's fine. If you're going to sit in a chair, don't sit in a big comfortable armchair, that'll make you fall asleep. Now, as I said, my mind can't seem to get to this place that I want to go to, because I've no thoughts, no personality, none of that sort of stuff. So I have to figure out some way of working with my mind to allow me to get into this place. So what I do is I make an arrangement with my mind where I say, could you just not think for the next 15 minutes, please? And at this stage, my mind is on board for the idea. And that's important. It's important to have that your mind is on board. If you have resistance, then you need to sort of figure out a way to help your mind get on board. So once my mind is on board, that's great. Then the next thing is to stop thinking, which is easier than you would think, because it's easy enough to stop thinking, because regardless of what I'm thinking about, which would be the content of my thought, the structure of my thought is always the same. It's always pictures and sound. So if I turn off the pictures and I turn off the sound, that's it, I'm not thinking. And as soon as I do that, I'm into the practice of meditation. Now, the practice of meditation runs parallel to the intention of meditation. Now, the intention of my meditation is, as I said, to go to this deep, mysterious, still, calm, silent, Zen-like. I'm just trying to think of all the other words that I use to describe meditation. That place, all right? And the practice of meditation runs parallel with it. And it starts as soon as I stop thinking. And it pretty much goes, I turn off the pictures, I turn off the sound. So I bring myself to not thinking. Then some time will pass, and I'll discover that I'm thinking again. I go, oh, I'm thinking again, all right? Turn off the pictures, turn off the sound, bring myself back to not thinking. Then some more time will pass, and I'll discover I'm thinking. I go, oh, I'm thinking. And it's important to note, I'm not going, oh, God, I'm thinking again. No, just, oh, thinking, right? Turn off my pictures, turn off the sound, bring myself back to not thinking. Some more time will pass, I'll discover I'm thinking again. Oh, thinking, turn off the pictures, turn off the sound, and so on. So the practice of meditation is repeatedly bringing myself back to not thinking whenever I discover that I'm thinking. And as I say, don't get the idea, the misconception that to meditate correctly, you can't be thinking at all. That's not the way it works. These two things, the intention and the practice, go together, and they do a sort of dance. Sometimes you'll be very still and calm and very in that kind of place. And you can feel that in your body, your nervous system settles down. It's beautiful. Then other times you'll be discovering that you're thinking, and both are powerful. One is as powerful as the other. It's kind of obviously powerful when you're in that deep, still, calm place. It's not so obvious when you're discovering that you're thinking, but it is powerful, and here's why. If you're like me, the sort of things that you think about are nearly always to do with yourself. So I'll be thinking, why did I say that to that person? What am I going to do about that other thing? Why did that person say that to me? Or something along those lines. Now, if I'm in the middle of meditation and I'm in the middle of one of those kind of thoughts, and I go, oh, I'm thinking, right, turn off the pictures, turn off the sound, bring myself back to not thinking. Indirectly, what I'm saying and demonstrating to myself is, you know that thought that you just had, the one that you thought was you and that you were it? Well, you just made that disappear. So you're not that thought. In fact, you're not any of your thoughts. You're something else. That's very powerful. And then the fact that you do it repeatedly, that's very powerful as well. So, don't add to your thinking by thinking that you're doing it wrong or that you're thinking too much. There's no right amount of times that you have, to bring yourself back from not thinking, because it changes. It changes day to day and hour to hour. You could meditate in the morning and not have to bring yourself back from thinking that many times. And then you could meditate in the afternoon and you have to bring yourself back loads of times. And neither is more right. It's not like the morning meditation was a better meditation or anything like that. It doesn't matter how many times you have to do that. The main thing is, every time you discover that you're thinking, you bring yourself back to not thinking. If you do that, you're doing great. Now, while I'm doing that, I'm also becoming more conscious of my body, and specifically tension. So I'm letting go of tension in my body. I'm scanning my body from my head down to my feet, back up again, very slowly, very gently. Anywhere I find tension, I'm letting it go. And to help me let it go, I'm using my out breath. So I'm sort of breathing away the tension. It's very natural to do that, to just breathe it away, but it's also a good way of being a little bit more aware of my breathing, because it's quite easy to hold your breath in meditation or to stop breathing altogether. So using my out breath just helps bring a bit more awareness to that. The other thing that happens is, as I'm scanning my body, I'm spending a little bit more time or giving a little bit more attention to any structures in my body that go across. Okay, mostly my body runs longitudinally from my head to my feet. Any structures that go across operate a bit like a log going across a stream. They just accumulate the leaves and the twigs and the branches and anything that's coming down the stream. Except in my body, that's tension. So I'm spending a little bit more time on my eyes. That's a transverse area, transverse site. My jaw, my tongue, the base of my neck, my shoulder girdle, all my joints, they're all transverse sites as well. So shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers. My heart area, my respiratory diaphragm, all my intestines, my pelvic floor, my hips, my knees, my ankles, and my toes. Having a nice quiet room is very helpful, particularly when you're starting out in meditation, because one of the things that triggers thoughts is noise. And as soon as you close your eyes to meditate, your hearing is going to amplify. So if you have a nice quiet room that you're not going to be disturbed in, it just helps your mind have less things to think about. And the other thing I do to help my mind have less things to think about is I set a timer for how long I'm going to meditate for. I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes. If you're new to meditation, I'd encourage you to set yours for maybe 5 minutes. Set it for a shorter amount of time and then just repeat that 3 times, because 15 minutes is a long time if you're not used to it. Okay, now let me just check if there are any questions or anything like that. No, thumbs up from Rachel. Thanks, Rachel. Okay, no. Anything on YouTube? No. Anything on Facebook? No. Good. All right, let me get the timer going and we'll get to it. Okay, off we go into the mystery. So if you feel like you've gone very deeply inside and you need a bit of time to come back from there, do that. Take the time before you open your eyes. Or if you feel like you can hold the inner space and the outer space at the same time, then you can just open your eyes. And if when you do that you sort of feel like you've lost the inner space, then you can just close your eyes again, reconnect. Oh yeah, there it is. Open your eyes again. Nope, lost it again. Close your eyes again, and so on. You can use your eyes like a valve to balance the inner space and the outer space. So as I said at the beginning, these meditations are part of the further emergence work I do. Further emergence is to do with growth, specifically inner growth, growth in consciousness. You could call it spiritual growth, growth in awareness, that kind of growth. When your body is growing, you're a child and you become an adolescent, and then when you become an adult, your body kind of stops growing and switches into replicating itself and maintaining itself. But you keep growing on the inside. That doesn't stop. You only have to think about who you were 10 years ago to see, oh yeah, that keeps going. And just like when you were a child and you were growing, you might have gone through a period of accelerated growth. They're called growth spurts. Those happen on the inside as well, and they continue for the rest of your life. Periods of accelerated inner growth. And that's what further emergence is about. Because when you were a kid and you went through a growth spurt, you would maybe have had growth pains, and you would have went to your parents, I've got pains in my legs, or wherever you had the growth pains. Your parents wouldn't have rushed you to hospital or even brought you to the doctor. They would have just said, no, that's growing pains, it's difficult, it'll pass. And it's similar with inner growth spurts. They can be painful. And they can be misidentified as well as not natural, like the way you would with growing pains in your body. Inner growing pains can be misidentified, and you can sort of feel like there's something wrong with you or that you're broken in some way. Whereas really what's just happening is you're just emerging further, hence the name. Because it can be quite disorienting, can be quite emotionally painful. You can have all sorts of different ways of feeling it. Like some people feel it like things are speeding up. They can feel their growth happening faster and faster and faster on the inside. Or they can feel stuck, they can feel like pressure building up, like they don't really know what it's about. You can feel like very lonely, because you go from everyone gets you and you get everyone to nobody gets you and you don't really get anyone else either. And you can feel like you're the only one going through this. So that can be hard as well. You can get physical symptoms as a result as well. The sort of symptoms that have a quality of like you're trying to get your attention about something, you're putting the pause on your life, and lots of other things. So I've been through it myself loads of times. I've helped lots of people through it as well, helped navigate it. That's one of the reasons for these meditations, because meditation really helps you become familiar with your inner landscape, and being familiar with your inner landscape is very helpful when you're going through these inner growth spurts. There's also a Zoom group every week, just had it yesterday, and that's a chance to meditate a bit more deeply, to have questions and answers and reflection, and also to sort of see, oh yeah, there's other people going through the exact same thing as me. So it helps with that feeling of loneliness. They're open to everyone. You can find the link if you want to come to one on the website furtheremergence.com. Just look under Zoom groups and you'll find the Zoom link. You're welcome to come. And if you want to hear what they're like or what the format is, because I know it can be intimidating to just enter a Zoom group. I mean, you can come and not be visible in any way at all, but you can look at them and see what they're like on whatever channel you're looking at this. There'll be a video of the latest Zoom group, and then you can listen. If you're a podcast sort of person, there's a podcast as well. You can listen to the audio from the Zoom groups. That's all on the website as well. You can see all that. I also work with people one-on-one. I do that twice a week. And that's a combination of talking and talking it through, just kind of in front of the scenes work. And then I do behind the scenes work as well, where we stop talking, the person lies down, and I do distance kind of energetic work with them to help their system with this process. Because I was a craniosacral therapist for many years, so I kind of use those skills for that. And then what else? I've written books as well. There's 4 books you can have a read of. They're all around that sort of topic of further emergence. Yeah, so if you're still with me, listened all the way to the end, perhaps something is ringing a bell for you. Perhaps there's a bit of resonance there where you're going, oh, something in this. So yeah, just listen to whatever that voice is telling you and do whatever you feel appropriate, like either follow along on the different channels or come to a Zoom group or get in touch for some one-on-one work or read a book or listen to the podcast, whatever. Or just keep coming to the meditations. So thanks very much for meditating with me, and I'll see you on Monday for some more meditation. Bye.